All right, we are gonna look at notes 58. We are doing more adding and subtracting and distributing. Okay, so the first thing is I see parentheses, but there's a plus in between it. Okay, so if I see parentheses and that means that, remember, there's a hidden 1 outside the parentheses. So if I distribute that hidden 1, my parentheses just go away and I get the same thing I already had. X squared plus 3x minus 5. If I distribute this positive 1, anything times 1 is itself, so I still get 3x squared minus 10x plus 4. Okay, so if there's a plus in between them, then I really don't have to distribute anything. I can drop the parentheses. Okay, now I'm just going to combine what's alike. There's an x squared. There's an x squared. X squared plus 3x squared is 4x squared. Then I'm going to do my x's. There's an x. There's an x. 3 minus 10 is negative 7x. And then I have negative 5 plus 4 is a negative 1. Okay, that is different than if I have a minus. If I have a minus in there, then it's going to change all of the signs behind it, because a negative times a positive is a negative x squared. A negative times a negative is a positive 9x, and a negative times a negative is a positive 4. So it will change everything behind it. Now there's still a positive 1 in front of that one, so I don't even need to distribute that. I can just bring it all down just the way it is. All right, now I can combine what's alike. So remember, if there's a negative in between, I've got to change all the signs behind it. All right, so now I have an x squared here, and an x squared there. So that's 5x squared minus 1x squared is 4x squared. Then I have an x and an x. 1 plus 9 is positive 10x. And then I also have negative 2 plus 4. Negative 2 plus 4 is a positive 2. All right, the next one, I see I have a minus again, so this is going to change every sign behind it. It's going to make that a negative x squared, a negative 7x, and a positive 1. All right, the front I can leave alone because there's not a negative in front of the front, so I can just bring it down the way it is without parentheses. 2x plus 3x squared minus 6. And now I'm going to combine what's alike. So I like to find my x squareds first, the biggest exponent. So there's an x squared, there's an x squared. 3 minus 1 is 2x squared. Here's an x, here's an x. 2 minus 7 is negative 5x. And then I have negative 6 and positive 1. Negative 6 plus 1 is minus 5. All right, let's look at number 4. Number 4 has multiply and subtract in it. Okay, so I'm going to take care of my parentheses first. 2x times x is 2x squared. Remember we learned yesterday when I multiply x times x, I get squared. 2x times 3 is a positive 6x. Then I'm going to distribute this negative 4. So negative 4 times x is negative 4x, and negative 4 times negative 1 is a positive 4. So we need to remember that's a negative. All right, now I can combine what's alike. All my parentheses are gone. Now I can combine what's alike. I have x squared, and I don't have any more x squared, so that just comes down, 2x squared. I have positive 6x, negative 4x. 6 minus 4 is positive 2x. And then I don't have any other constants, so I'm just going to bring them down. Okay, number 5, I have distribution again. I need to realize that there is a number right here. It's that negative 1. So when I distribute, I have negative 2 times 3x is, 2 times 3x is 6x. 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. Negative 1 times x is negative 1x. Negative 1 times 7 is negative 7. Now I can combine what's alike. I don't see any x squareds, so I'm going to start with x. 6x minus 1x gives me 5x. And then I have negative 10 minus 7 gives me negative 17. I can't combine those, so I'm done. All right, but what if we don't have a minus in between? What if we're multiplying this whole thing times that whole thing? Okay, this is called double distribution. I have to multiply this times both things in the other parenthesis, and then I have to multiply the 4 times both things in the other parenthesis. All right, so let's do the x first. I'm going to cover up this 4. I'll just rewrite it and I'll cover it up. X plus 4 and x plus 5. All right, I'm going to cover up the 4 and I'm going to distribute x times x is x squared. All right, then I have x times 5. X times 5 is 5x. Now I'm going to cover up the x and do the 4. 4 times x is 4x, and 4 times 5 is 20. This is called double distribution. Okay, so now I have x squared plus 5x plus 4x plus 20. Now I can see that these two are like terms, so I can add them. So my answer is x squared plus 9x plus 20. Okay, so we have double distribution here. So I'm going to cover up the 6 and I'm going to distribute the x first. X times x is x squared. X times negative 4 is negative 4x. Now I'm going to cover up the x and distribute the 6. 6 times x is positive 6x. 6 times negative 4 is negative 24. Okay, once I have distributed and multiplied them all out, now I can combine what's alike. I can see I have an x here and an x there. So I have no other x squareds, it comes down. Negative 4 plus 6 is a positive 2x, and I have no other constant, so that just comes down. Okay, number 8, I'm going to cover this up and do my double distribution. X times x is x squared. X times negative 2 is negative 2x. Now I'm going to cover the x up and do the negative 5. Negative 5 times x is negative 5x. Negative 5 times negative 2 is positive 10. Now I can combine my like terms. So I have no more x squareds. Negative 2 minus 5 more is negative 7x, and bring down my positive 10. All right, we're going to keep going. All right, I see that I am multiplying a binomial times a binomial, so I have to multiply both of these times both things over here. Okay, if you like the Punnett squares from science, you can use those. Okay, I can do 2x and a positive 3, and I can do x and a negative 1. It will give you the same thing. So I can see I have a 2x times an x gives me 2x squared. Then I have 2x times negative 1 gives me negative 2x. X times 3 is 3x. And negative 1 times 3 is negative 3. Now I can rewrite them and combine what's alike. I can see there's no more x squared, so I'll put 2x squared. But I can see I have an x here and an x there. 3 minus 2 is positive 1x. And then I have no other constant, so I'm just going to bring it down. So if you like the box method, you can do the box method also. I'm going to show you again right here. All right, so I write one on the top and one on the side. Doesn't matter which one. So x minus 5, I'm writing it on the top. X minus 3, I'm writing on the side. X, negative 3. All right, I can see there's two x's going in here. X times x is x squared. In this box, I can see there's a -5 and an x. -5 times x is -5x. I can see in this one I have an x going times a -3. -3 times x is -3x. Here I can see I have a -5 times a -3 is a +15. Now I'm going to look and circle any terms that are alike. So I can see that here's an x and there's an x. I don't see any more x squared, so I'm going to write that first, x squared. -3 plus -5 is -8x. And then I'd have no more constants. Okay, and that's as far as we're going to go today.